Everyone with a mobile phone must understand the frustration when you only get 1 bar of signal and you can't do anything with your phone and it simply becomes a brick. But in the vast space of Australia, how do they cope?
You probably know the frustration of wanting to use your phone and struggling to get enough bars of reception. In fact, you might even have a corner of your own house where your phone struggles to connect.
Nice touch he did there. Now, over here, so for example, if we're talking about my own home, if we're talking about Wi-Fi and the internet, for example, the problem I have is because my house is brick walls, the router is in the front of the house, and I have to have the network boosters just to get anything at the back of the house because of the whole brick walls. And quite often in the UK, places are built up, walls are brick, and it really struggles sometimes for signal to get through. Whereas I'm assuming it's almost the opposite, especially I assume what we're going to talk about in the outback, the bush and whatnot, because of the vast distances. It's not necessarily because things are in the way, but it's because of the distance that the waves have to travel.
Which is really annoying when you've got some cute pictures to send or some quality memes. I'm in the Northern Territory in the heart of Australia, and this innovation is one that solves that problem, right here in the outback. Australia's a massive country, but one that's very urban. Most people live in the cities, so the centre of Australia is very sparsely populated. Now, this is an issue when we come to the mobile phone network. If you take a look at Australia's most extensive phone network, which is Telstra, we can see near total coverage of 4 and 5G in and around Melbourne. In fact, it doesn't take a huge area to cover a massive percentage of Australia's population.
That's incredible. That is incredible, because when we look at the UK phone providers, Vodafone, 3, EE, etc., they will state 99% coverage. 99% coverage of the UK. That was not 99% of Australia, was it? That is absolute mad to think.
With everyone living in such a dense part of the city. But to get everyone is incredibly difficult. Now that's very different when we take a look at Central Australia. And as you can see, huge areas with limited or no signal. And this could be a real issue out here with the outback and desert condition. So this is an initiative from the Centre for Appropriate Technology. And it's an Aboriginal-controlled, not-for-profit that works on research technology projects that support remote communities. This device is a mobile hotspot. What it does is it extends coverage in these areas with limited reception. So normally a mobile phone or tablet has a range of around 10 to 15 kilometres from the nearest mobile tower. Now, the actual quality will depend on signal strength, both at the phone and the tower, and that itself can depend on the terrain and any obstructions that are in the line of sight. And this device is pretty simple in what it does. It's a one-at-a-time system where you take your phone and place it on the cradle. This dish is aimed at the nearest or most suitable tower, and what it can do is capture more of the signal than your phone's built-in antenna can. It then focuses it on the phone.
That's incredible. I was just going to think it was like a booster, like we have for the Wi-Fi. It's for in household use. It's plugged into the wall, and it just boosts it. It picks the signal, and it just gives it a little extra kick up the backside. But no, this you actually have to place in this holder. I assume that's why the satellite is sort of in that area and facing the phone. But this is not what I thought it was going to be. I didn't think you would actually have to physically have your phone in this little holster.
From there, you just use your phone as normal. You can turn it on or use it as a Wi-Fi hotspot. And the technology itself is fairly basic. It's not powered, it's a passive parabolic antenna, and there's no moving parts. And it works by amplifying both the received and transmitted signal at the user end. What that does, it increases the range well beyond what you would normally be able to use.
Please tell me if you are from a remote area, is this something you've seen? Is it something you've used? The fact that there's no power in it, it's no moving parts, it is just more or less a satellite dish. That's fascinating. That I assume it has to be positioned correctly as well, facing the antenna. So simple, but so clever at the same time.
The Centre for Appropriate Technology has a series of these, some up to 100 kilometres from the nearest tower. And basically you can turn 1 bar of signal into 2 or 3 bars, or go from no reception at all to being able to send messages. And it works on any network that's connected to the mobile phone tower and on any device. Hello.
What are you up to?
I'm making an educational YouTube video. How's reception are you getting?
Not many.
So you were getting no reception there, or
No, I wasn't getting any there, but I'm getting a little bit here.
So it's doing what it's meant to do. Technology.
So it's not something that drastically improves your situation on your phone. But if it's a simple case of you've got no signal at all and it gives you 1 bar, well, that could make a hell of a difference. If you're in a life and death situation, or, you know, if it's an emergency and you have no bars and you got a 1 bar, at least you can make a text, or you can make a real poor quality call possibly. So this, so simple, but could be really, really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He explained how it was. And all right, fair enough. People don't really want to know how the technology works. They just want to know that it works.
There are at least 45 of these installed across the Northern Territory, generally at campsites or roadside stops or Indigenous communities. And if you can see this symbol on the road signs, they let you know that they're there. Basically, any site just outside mobile coverage range makes this a really cool option. And the reason why this can be important is that mobile phone coverage can be really patchy across this area, and you can go up to 200 kilometres or 2 hours of driving between towers. The Centre for Appropriate Technology has actually improved on this design, and they've created an enhanced hotspot that has a second passive element, which is an electrical mirror above the dish, and that reflects an even stronger signal down to the dish, and that increases the potential range. Now, this device, of course, doesn't solve all the issues of mobile phone access across the territory, but it does open it up to more places. In fact, there are other solutions that can be used, but generally these need to be powered, they need storage and ongoing maintenance. Because only a small percentage of people out here use satellite phones and use external antennas on their cars or on their devices. Now, a new mobile phone tower can cost upwards of $800,000, and with such a limited population, it can be a pretty tough sell. So when you're after a cheap, almost zero maintenance solution, this is a cool option. And the experts agree, and this project's won an Industry Innovation Award. So now, if you've got cute photos or hilarious memes, or just want to contact your loved ones in remote Australia, now you can. Thanks to technology like this, you can access more websites in more places. And if you do want to...
Squarespace, advert and all that. What a clever idea. Like I said, it's so simple. And I don't think Julian really talked about the emergency use. I don't think he shared actually how important it could be. You know, now granted you have to be near this location, but, you know, if it's life and death, if it's a real emergency, and this is vital. And I don't think Julian O'Shea emphasised that, if I'm honest. And I think what I'm getting from is, you know, I think most people know how remote the outback is in Australia. So if you come across this and you're hurt, or I don't know, whatever emergency problem there is, this is the answer. Like I said, it may go from 0 signal to 1 bar, and that is just enough to solve your problem and get help. I think it's so clever and so simple at the same time. And sometimes those are the best inventions. The ones that are so simple, but do the job well. You know, you can see why, to be fair, they could, if it needed power, they could certainly stick a solar panel on it to give some sort of boost in technology that needs power. A solar panel would work easy, wouldn't it, in the bush? Lots of sun. But simple, clever, could be really, really important to people. Thank you so much for watching. Julian O'Shea does some really, really good videos that are educational about the environment around him. So I think he's fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.